Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Robby Row Show. I am your host, Robby Rowland. Thank you for listening to today's episode.
May I have your attention, please?
Give him a heater.
Now listening to Clear the Mechanism.
The Robby Row Show.
The Robby Row Show.
What's going on, people? How we doing today? Oh, you're doing well. Oh, I'm good. Thank you for asking. So today, something a little bit out of the norm, but I contacted the Yardwork. If you're not familiar with their work, go to Instagram, type in the Yardwork, and you'll see their Instagram pop up. But anyways, it's Andrew and AJ, and they're cousins, and they have a baseball podcast bringing you guys daily baseball news and transactions, and they also have some guests coming on, basically all centered around the game of baseball, right? And I find it so fascinating hearing stories of how podcasts are created, like what's the idea behind it, what's the motive, and all that stuff. So I reached out to them and said, hey, man, like, you know, it'd be great to have you guys come on the show, talk a little bit about your experience podcasting. And then they were like, well, we want you on the show. And I was like, dude, let's kill two birds with one stone, record an interview, and throw it both on our platform. So their episode aired the day of when we recorded it. I've been backed up, so mine's airing now as you listen to it. But yeah, so go ahead and enjoy this episode. Like I said, Andrew and AJ, who get to hear their backstory a little bit as far as how they came to get this podcast going, and they also interview me, so you're going to hear a lot of my personal answers to the questions that they ask, and I also interview them. So it's a pretty fun podcast. We go for a long time, obviously, as you can imagine. A lot of questions to be asked and a lot of answers to be answered, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, if you enjoy their stuff, make sure to check them out on iTunes. All right, let's get to the episode, huh? Okie dokie. You guys have a good one. We're live, man. Go ahead, take it over.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Yardwork. I'm Rosangel Fernandez, and if you just heard that little bit, that was Robby Rowland. He's joining us on the show. We're actually on his show too, and with me, as always, is Yardwork AJ. AJ, what's up, man?
Andrew, what's going on? And Robby, glad to have you on. This is a new little experience for us. We got a little dual podcast going.
Yeah, I feel like we're in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is craziness. We got like
the interweb matrix.
Yeah.
This is crazy. We're gonna have the craziest podcast coming for you guys. A nice dual show will be on the Robby Row Show and the Yardwork.
Yeah, dude. Yes. Well, and for the listeners, we apologize. I think all three of us are very passionate individuals when it comes to the sport of baseball and probably anything and everything else that we're going to talk about today. So if at any time, we all talk at the same time, we apologize for that. But
it's probably going to happen.
Oh, 100%, dude. Like I get super passionate and I love. I love talking too. So, and I know you're from New York, man. So you're probably in that same boat, right?
Yeah, you're right. So just a quick shout out from our sponsors. Check out Hit Factory Baseball and Baseball Lifestyle 101. Make sure you subscribe to the Robby Row Show and the Yardwork on iTunes. And I mean, that's all I got for the intro. I'm ready to dive in.
Dude, yeah. Well, congratulations on those sponsors, man. That's awesome. Make sure you guys check those out.
Thank you.
Oh, dude, yeah. So, I mean, shoot, man. For my introduction, I'll keep it brief, man. It's funny because I usually do like a show notes, a pre-show notes. You know what type of questions I want to kind of shoot for, and what direction I see the show going, and then I have like what episode it is. I'll be 100% honest with y'all. I got like 7 shows coming out like in the next 3 weeks. I don't even know what show for me this is. But what I do know is this is gonna be show. This is gonna be fun. So my audience, guys, I can't give you a particular episode probably until I actually get down into the editing room. But for my listeners, man, I want to take this time and just thank each and every one if you're listening. All the support on Twitter, Instagram, even YouTube, like you guys coming out and just kind of saying how much the show means to you guys and how much you take from it. So love each and every one of you, and super excited to get this thing going. I have no idea where this is going to go, but definitely excited to jump down some rabbit holes.
Thank you everyone listening. That's the big thing. Everyone who listens, we love it, and thank you guys.
No doubt. Dude, so, hey, let me start. Do you mind if I take the first question?
No, go ahead.
Dude, so like I said, kind of we jumped on, a little bit before we hit record and kind of got a brief layout of your guys' plan. But, like, what made you want to start a podcast about baseball, man? Because this stuff intrigues me. I love everyone's stories and how they kind of came, to be and where they're at now. So, dude, lay it on me, man. I want to know.
All right, AJ, do you mind if I just take this over just a little bit, the first half?
Yeah, go ahead. Start it up, and then I'll add in as it goes.
Start, and then, because I got to throw you in because, let me just go ahead. Let me go ahead.
Go for it.
The Yardwork Baseball podcast actually started a little bit over a year ago, almost 13 months ago. Yardwork AJ and I in our dorm rooms. And it was so funny. The reason why I really started a baseball podcast was because I was at a football game for my college, and this one girl, I was just talking about baseball with some kid, and this girl overheard me, and she started yelling at me. She was like, "You know nothing about baseball." And I was like, "Excuse me?" I was like, so I ended up I was like, all right, I'm going to start a baseball podcast. I'm going to show everyone what I know, type of thing. It was just one day me being like angry at some random girl, and then I ended up just calling AJ. I knew he'd be down. I know AJ, he's a huge baseball guy.
Right.
And we honestly just started rolling from there. And AJ, if there's anything I'm missing, please help me out.
Yeah, you gave your side. From my side, I was also in my dorm room, and I just kind of got a text, and I was like, oh, like, what's my cousin texting me about? And he's like, you want to start a podcast with me? And I was like, whoa, like, that's kind of wild. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what is this going to entail? Like, or are we just going to be talking and recording? Like, how are we publishing this? And we were kind of, like, along your guidelines, Robby, we just kind of went out there and was winging it. We just kind of started on FaceTime, just talking to each other, essentially, and recording it. And then we were like, how do we make this to be...
We would just hold the phone up. I would just hold my phone to my laptop where he was talking. It was the most primitive way of doing a podcast when we first started.
I love that, dude. You know what I'm going to do, man, is I just pulled up on my phone y'all's podcast. For my audience, make sure you guys go to iTunes or whatever platform you're listening to it on. Type in the Yardwork. You guys see it right there. And I made sure to hit the subscribe button. And y'all are freaking pumping out some episodes, man. 106 episodes thus far.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, we went last year's winter break. We did an episode like every day for like 30 days straight.
That's intense, man.
Oh, and we're hoping to do that again. So if you guys are interested in listening to a podcast that's giving you episode after episode, after the new year, we're looking to really be doing that again, right, Age?
Yeah, and to finish up the end of my story, I just want to preface with do the exact same with Robby's podcast. Go to iTunes wherever you're listening on. Look up the Robby Row Show. I've listened to a few episodes before. It's pretty good, so check it out. And then to finish my story about how the Yardwork started I was like, you know what? Like, I've been playing baseball my whole life, like playing ball, watching baseball. You know that commercial with Adam Jones? Is like if he's not watching baseball,
yeah, the MLB.
Baseball. Yeah, like, so that was essentially me on a slightly less scale. And I was like, yeah, like, let's go. Let's talk about some baseball. And then we just kind of were winging it. And eventually people started listening. We started getting some more high-profile guys on the show. And then it's kind of exploded from there. It's been a great ride.
Robby, I got to tell you something.
What do you got?
We were at 37,000 total downloads in a year. I remember when AJ and I hit 1,000 downloads, and it was like we hit the lottery. I mean, we were going nuts.
That's awesome.
We had fun moments behind the scenes.
That's awesome, dude. Like everyone asked me, about that whole like, hey, how many downloads you got, how many listens? Like, dude, I feel like if this is I'm not saying you guys do this, but just for me, I get into a dangerous territory when I constantly like check the statistics of the episodes because then I maybe feel like I'm like putting too much stock in that and paying too much attention to it when it's like, man, that's not why I started this, right? Like the foundation of why, foundation of why I started.
When I do check it, I think it does make me want to work harder. I'm like, oh, people are looking at it, people are liking it. Like, let's pump out some more episodes.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh.
So we just had our first little Who's gonna talk moment?
I got one, and this one really interests me. I was listening to one of your episodes, and it was about, I think you had like a foot doctor on the show, and she was saying how it's like better to train barefoot, and I've seen some videos of you training barefoot. Listen, man, I believe it. I gotta try it, but I need to like see the whole story of this, and does it really help? And like, what is it like doing? I gotta know,
dude. So this is the. I mean, honestly, man, like this is the foundation for why I love to podcast, man. Like this is it in black and white. It's just like the ability to go. Like, hey, I found, Dr. Emily on Instagram. Like, oh wow, look, she's like literally a podiatrist, barefoot specialist, and it's like, wait a second, I get literally a comment or 100 comments per post of me barefoot. Like, yo, why do you train barefoot? Why are you doing this? You're doing it wrong. Blah blah blah. You know how people are. But and then I like it. Green light, man. Like I was like, wow, how cool would it be? Have Dr. Emily on the show. Give her professional opinion upon training barefoot and what that means and the benefits and not only the benefits of training barefoot, but maybe some of the downfalls of training with shoes on, and then have that in my library. And then every time I post a video of me frickin' being a weirdo and training barefoot and having comments like, yo, why you train barefoot? I go, hey, boom, copy paste, link, the Robby Row Show, episode 48. Let's go, dude. Podiatrist, so it's cool, man. I mean, to kind of give you some further information on that is, I am a proponent of not having to rely on a whole lot of things, to, not only exercise, but basically go through functional movements, right? So like, I want to be the guy in the weight room that can move weight, with no support from a belt or no wrist straps or no nothing, because at the end of the day, in like my opinion, and I'm sure, some people will disagree, but that's fine, is like, that's pure human strength. That's being a human being, is like doing these cavemen-esque type lifts, and just not having to rely.
As human strength, I go to the gym, no headphones. I'm one with the machine.
You're a psycho. One with the machine. You're a psycho, dude. Oh, you're a lunatic. I could never do that, man. See, I'm the opposite guy.
I wear no headphones though.
Dude, I'm the guy that I train. I get another thing. I get a lot of grief for like, I post my workouts. So like the time of the workout that I log, I log from 5 a.m. to 9, and people are like, you don't need to be in the gym that long. Like science shows this. And, again, people, I love you guys. And sometimes your comments get to me. I will be honest, but, I will say it's just like, that is my therapy, man. Like that is like, I get in the gym, dude, and I throw the beats on sometimes, soundproof, and I go into a different freaking world, man. I attribute it to like being on the bump, dude, where, you hear the cliche of like clearing the mechanism, and you're in your head, and it's just you and your thoughts and like the wind, and you just got nothing else. You're in this tunnel vision of a zone, and it's just you, man, and it's you and the mitt. And I think that all of that, to me at least, because I'm a weirdo, but it's kind of all the same thing, as like, how can we block out like all remaining external factors and focus in on the task at hand and just lose ourselves within that moment. Like I talk all the time about like flow state, and that state of mind that you get in when you lose track of time and space, but you're just in the element of just goodness, man. And I know I just went on a total rant there, and now I'm blacking out. So I'll give it back to you guys for whatever you guys.
No, I think you're blacking out, but you're in the zone. Mm-hmm. Like, I think there's something with there's something in your brain. It's like I don't know the exact term, but it's something that lends itself to the zone. That's what you're in right there. It's in the gym, in the podcast room.
That's what I love about podcasting too, man. Like I get guys on, and I've been so fortunate, man. I'll be honest, and I'm so blunt to the point where if I did have a particular guest that I didn't enjoy, I'd literally just say it. But I've been so fortunate with literally every guest that I've been on or has been on my show. Like just great conversation, dude. And I'm just such a big fan of good conversation and in-depth, like just detailed conversation. It's so good, man. Like, I just love it. I just love people are like, it's so cool, man. People like have like all people have something to say, right? It's just about like, you know, are they going to say it? Do they have a voice to say it? And it's like, that's what I love about podcasts, man. You bring them on. Hey, what's your story? And next thing you know, this guy that, you know, doesn't really, but no one perceives him as like an intelligent individual's got some freaking facts bombs, man. And you're like, whoa, I could probably learn something from that. Let me share it.
You are so lucky to have us. I mean, I'm going to be honest right there. Only because Yardwork AJ is the king of questions. I mean, this guy got some good stuff thrown up for you. I can promise you that. That's a good question.
That's perfect, man. This will be great then.
Robby, something I wanted to circle back to with the barefoot thing. So I saw you had Jared Forestieri on your show, right?
Guy,
a little while ago.
I love that guy.
So it's funny that you say he's your guy because he's also my guy.
Hey.
Fun fact, I think it was, no, maybe not 6 years ago, he was my trainer because he owns a gym like right by my house.
Okay.
So he's my guy. So he was the first guy to introduce me to barefoot stuff. And when I saw he was on your show, I was like, there's no way. Like, what a small world. Like, I'm going on his show and he was just on. Like Jared's my guy. He's a great dude.
Jared's awesome, man. And it's funny, dude, because remember when we first got on and you said you were a New Yorker and I was like, yo, where's that accent? I'm literally coming fresh off of Jared's, and I know it's more of like a Jersey accent, but that's like, to me, that's thick, you know, like that's something within the first like sentence or two, you're like, yep, guys from New York or guys from Jersey, like you just know right away.
Yeah, no, I was definitely, you definitely hear that.
He was another guest, Jared. Dude. Like he's another guest where like, because the first time him and I talked was on my show, and I strictly told him, I was like, yo, like, don't tell me anything before we hit record because I want to dive in, dude. I want to get in because I knew nothing about him. What's that?
So you saying you never talked to this guy until you guys started recording?
We had just exchanged text. Like we were text and then we'd message on Instagram. Like obviously, like you just, you know,
that's awesome.
His he does a great job on his Instagram account. For those of you who want to check him out, I think it's Jared _DYEM. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's right. Yeah, if you're interested, he was episode. I want to say he was like episode 47 of my show. But just dude, genuine dude, man. Like you know, he comes on and it's just another one of those guests, dude. Like we start talking, we have a lot of similarities. Like I didn't know he was a ball player, so like obviously talk about that.
Arizona.
Yeah, dude, he was a guy.
The fact you just met this guy and you guys just started talking, you guys got a great episode out that's like you're like the podcasting.
Dude, I love it, man. I mean, that's honestly like I think you know, right when I kind of came up with the idea of like starting a show, everyone was like, you know, yep, that makes sense. You know, Robby's gonna have a podcast. Yep. If we thought Robby was gonna do anything in his life, like podcasting is probably up there. But no, man, like that's the coolest part about it is like, yeah, him and I had never spoken before. I didn't know what his voice sounded like. We come on, say a few things on the, you know, before we hit record. I'm like, yo, like we're hitting record, dude. Like we're diving in. We hit record and it's like, boom, freaking hour. I think we went like an hour and maybe some change, and it was like, dude, that was amazing.
Yeah, no, and Jared definitely knows his stuff too. So you can talk to him for hours,
right? Smart dude.
Yeah.
Oh man. So okay, dude, all right. So let's dive in a little bit. So the Yardwork starts. So the Yardwork originally started with a podcast, or did it start on like Twitter or Instagram first, or did it go podcast to Instagram and Twitter and all that?
Podcast first.
And then like so. I've just kind of scrolled through y'all's like recent episodes and stuff. So I think you said it in the a little bit ago about having guests on. So you guys do solo episodes well, not solo, but you and AJ, and then you'll have like a guest come on, and then you'll three-way talk. Is that how particularly your episodes go?
Yeah. So essentially, what we've been doing is we're calling this season 2 of the Yardwork because it's year 2.
Okay.
And our first year was like, it was a learning curve. We didn't really have good equipment,
Absolutely.
good technology. We had no knowledge of it. We really, I think AJ, he listened to more podcasts than me, but I really didn't listen to many podcasts. So I didn't really know, I had really no reference of how to run a podcast. This is all us being original and us trying to do our own thing. So we that's just is how it went. And I'm forgetting the question.
Dude, isn't that great though? I actually want to make a point too. I want to go back to your guys' first and second, third episode. Because that's when it's real, dog. It's real, man. And it's funny, man, because I was in that same situation. My podcast actually started when I was in Puerto Rico last year playing winter ball. I'll hit a year sometime in January actually. And I remember didn't know what I was really doing. I opened up GarageBand and I knew I could hit the record button and have my Apple headphones with the mic, and and talk into it. So my first episode in Puerto Rico in an apartment with bad Wi-Fi, and I'm have these Apple headphones on, and I'm okay, well, first episode, I guess it's just gonna be me talking. So hey, here's my story, and I went on for an hour and 20.
I remember where I was going. with it. So like I said, this is year 2. This is season 2 of the Yardwork. So this is really us just trying to really now just keep have guests on as much as possible, get great interviews, get great people on, just have a lot of fun with it. We've had guys on Barstool, we've got other minor leaguers on the show, and now we're doing this dual podcast, and this is one of the dopest things we've done.
We have no idea what we're doing, man, but we're freaking doing it.
No idea what we're doing. This would be episode 106 or 107, and we're still going.
Yeah, Speaking of that, dude, sorry to interrupt you, but I'll be in touch with you guys after we hit end record and let you guys know when this thing's gonna air, because I honestly I have no idea. I have 4 episodes to publish right now.
We'll probably have this one up by today. Because we don't really set time. So just for everyone listening, I don't even know today's date. We'll say the 19th. It should be up the 19th today. So
today's the 19th. That's crazy.
So right, it was Christmas.
Yeah. So Robby, something else I wanted to get into. It was something you talked about in the first episode. Don't sell yourself short, because fun fact, I actually listened to that first episode when it first came out. I had followed you on Instagram before, and I thought it was pretty good. So it was kind of crazy you telling your whole story, and that kind of leads into one of the questions I had for us. Can you give us obviously you explained it to your viewers already, but can you give us a quick 1 to 2 minute rundown of your baseball journey?
Oh gosh, baseball journey 1 to 2 minutes, man.
All right, fine. You can expand upon it, but I'm just saying, the cliff notes of that first episode that you gave on your podcast.
Yeah. So before I start the baseball journey part of it, I think the biggest thing that I try to accomplish on my show is just being super genuine and super real, man. That show, that first one, dude, that was me literally pouring all my heart out as far as where I was at in my career, the ups and downs, the trials, tribulations, man. And I think a lot of people, on my that follow me on Instagram, they may perceive my life and my career as very glamorous, because I'm posting a lot of things, and there's attention to it, and people are paying attention, right? And I'm very fortunate for that. But what I want to get across is it's not all sunshine and rainbows, man. If you want to play this game and you want to do it at a high level, you are going to fail. It is going to happen at some point. And the beauty of all of that is you have the ability within yourself to control your response to your failure. And I think that's the biggest thing for me in that first episode, was to really get across and to show my audience, look, I sucked this year. I didn't respond well to it because I was at this age. I didn't really know, and then I grew, and it was just a process of continual growth throughout my career and throughout this beautiful journey. And I'm still learning, man. And I think that's another thing I like to show in my or present to my audience in my show. And as I progress in this podcast, man, is I'm still growing, dude. I'm about to go into my 10th professional season, and there's things that I learned today that's great. I'll put it in the toolbox and we'll run with it. But the quick recap of the journey of my career, man, is started at 18. I was a third round pick out of high school. I had a little bit of intentions to go to college, but at the same time, I wanted to be a baseball player. That's kind of the identity that I wanted to own at a young age. My dad played in the big leagues, parts of 6 years in the show, so it was like, that culture, that environment that I was born into was just was normal, was authentic. The living out of the suitcase. I was very adapted to that, and I longed for that. I would say, and then as soon as 18 hit, man, it was like, let's go. We're riding, and like I said, ups and downs, failures, trades, releases, free agent deals. Like it's a mixture, man, of like all the bad and learning from the bad, and then the good and learning from the good, and not being content with the successes and seeking out other ways to better, not only myself as a ball player, but myself as a human being and as a person, as a teammate, and all that stuff. So for the listeners on y'all's show, I highly encourage you guys, if you wanna dive into some realness, man. Episode 1, the Robby Row Show, check it out. That's me pouring my heart out on a kitchen table in Puerto Rico. So sorry if that was longer than you expected, but I get passionate about it.
No, it's perfect.
Appreciate you.
The kitchen table in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get more real than that.
we didn't have like a couch or anything, man. We just had like a 3-bedroom apartment, and I wasn't gonna do it on my bed. Like I mean, I know we're not on video right now, but I get very animated when I talk. I got limbs going everywhere, dude. I can't sit still. That's why it's funny, dude. Like when I first did this podcast thing, I bought one of those like mics, with the boom thing, and it like sticks to, and you can move it and stuff. And I recorded one episode with that mic, and I played it back, and it was like, why is my voice going in and out? And I realized like I kept moving further away from the mic and then back into the mic, and I'd moved too much, so I was like, I gotta buy a headset. So I ended up purchasing one of these headsets that I can actually move around with. I feel like I'm working for Google right now. I got the little thing coming down to my lips and the thing over my ears.
And Robby, I really appreciate how you say you just try to be genuine, because I definitely think we need more people like that. I think, and even like AJ and I think this is something that we try to do because we're very passionate about. And just us being 19-year-old kids, and I can tell you from my hometown, there are not many other people I know doing podcasts. I know everyone wants to be a SoundCloud rapper.
Yeah. I love it.
Like, what? Am I going to be a rapper? Or am I going to talk about, sports, which I've been following my entire life? So,
right.
It was no brainer.
Here's the thing, man. We have a beautiful opportunity presented to us, man, in 2018, because we have the accessibility, right? And we have the ability to reach other individuals, right? And we have a platform, and we can inspire, and we can encourage other people, that need encouragement, that need inspiration, to maybe, pick up the bat, pick up the ball when they don't want to, but like, I'm going to do this. And I think that's kind of my whole foundation, man, as far as like when I was a kid, I wanted to know like what those guys that we saw on TV at 7 o'clock, what they were doing in their life, like what were they doing behind the scenes? And now I think in 2018, like we have the ability to show other individuals that side of things. And I take a lot of pride in me just, being as real and as authentic as I can. So, I can reach little Timmy in, Albuquerque, New Mexico, or something like, that you maybe could never have done like 15, 20 years ago. So for me, that's everything.
Yeah, it's definitely like being able to expand your reach, and the podcast is such a great vessel for that, and to be able to make a positive impact on people's lives. It's an incredible tool.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's what we say. It's influence. You give people positive influence in this world, you're doing something right. Dude,
that's what it's all about, man. Like, dude, that to me just that just makes it makes everything worth it. You know, it makes all the freaking the hours and hours of the editing the show and the show notes and you know, the hours that I spend making an Instagram post. And you know, I'm not trying to say this like, hey, look at me, I'm the greatest. I really don't mean that. I just mean like, you know, this is. People ask me like, you know, what makes you tick, man? You know, like, why do you do what you do? Why do you spend so much time on it? Like, are you addicted to attention? Like, maybe, but at the same time, you know, like, I have the ability, we have the ability to inspire and motivate other individuals around us. So, you know, who are we if we don't do that?
You get like a comment or a DM and, you know, they're like, I really love your show. Or, you know, you get that, we've gotten, you know, the once in a while comment, like people say it inspired them to start a podcast. And I mean, it feels good that you know that you're doing something that you care about, and other people are really taking, you know, real positive aspects away from it.
100%, man. Couldn't have said it better myself, honestly. That was good.
Thank you.
Dude, like, oh man, we did it. We did it again. That's only number 2. Hey, that's impressive, dude. That's only number 2, and we're 28 minutes in. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that being said, totally forgot what I was going to say. No. So when you guys do a typical, like an episode, like I see you guys shoot for like 30 minutes. I totally forgot to ask you guys before we started the show, like what time wise are we like kind of looking at?
Honestly, we go until like we're done, and just some, like we've had some 8-minute episodes. We've had some 24 or 40-minute episodes. It's just however long it takes. If this is a 5-hour episode, it's a 5-hour episode.
Let's go, dude.
I still got a lot to say. I still got a lot.
What rabbit hole do you guys want to dive down?
I know AJ's got so many questions he hasn't got to yet. I'm just waiting.
I'm trying to work him in. Well, one of the
no, I know. I'm not saying it a bad way. I'm saying it in like I'm excited for him.
Yeah.
I'm always excited for the question.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, one of the things like the rabbit hole I want to go down to. So, like I've seen, like you're obviously very vocal about your faith. Like, how has that helped you kind of in your life and as a ball player? Because like Andrew and I obviously we're also we are like, what's the correct word for? It's like we have strong faith. Yeah, strong faith. Like you should see the photos of us at our communions together. Like we go to church all the time and we get to see each other. Yeah, it's incredible. So I want to hear a little bit about your story.
Dude, I am like, gosh darn it, man. You thought I was passionate before. Like, this is I got to stand up. So first of all, dude, thank you for asking that question, man. Like, this is something that I try to fit in, a lot. You know, I try to be Christ-minded, you know, throughout my day and try to just walk in that. And, I try to bring that into life with what I do in my social media presence. So I appreciate you asking that. But, obviously I touched on it before, man, like the failure that I had early in my career. And I also mentioned, I don't know if you guys caught a statement where I said when I was 18, I wanted my identity to be in baseball. And at the time, I thought that was the way to go, right? You always kind of hear of the guys that are the dirt bags that wake up and it's baseball, baseball, baseball. And that was me to a T, man. Like I just loved the game and that's all I wanted to do. And then all of a sudden I turned pro, and I'm young and I'm in a new environment and I'm failing for and this is again, I don't mean any conceited comment here, but it was kind of the first time in my life where I was hitting this failure and I was like, wait a second, like what, how do I respond to that? I don't know. I haven't been in this predicament before where almost everything I do is wrong, and no matter how hard I try, I continue to sink. It's like the Replacements quote, when Shane Falco's like, you get into quicksand, and the harder and harder you try, the more and more you sink. And that was me to a T. And I'm 19 and I'm 20 and I'm failing, and I had nowhere to turn, because baseball was my identity through and through. And now that identity, that wave that we're riding is just tough. It's rigid. This roller coaster is like going up and down, and now my emotions are taking a hit, and my overall just being is taking a huge hit. I'm no longer myself because I'm not finding joy out of the game because I'm sucking at it, and that really hit home. That hit hard for me in my life, and in 2015, man, I saw I saw I saw God's plan come into fruition, man. And just to give you a brief glimpse of, my testimony and kind of paint a picture for you guys is, I didn't grow up in the church. I didn't grow up in Christ. I didn't, that was kind of something my parents decided at an early age that they wanted me to come on my own. And if that moment came, then, it was good. And it was real and it was authentic. And in 2015, I had just gotten released by Pittsburgh, and I'm busting my butt to get a contract. End up getting a contract with St. Louis. They end up sending me to a small town, Peoria, Illinois, and I know nobody. I have no idea anyone on this team. I hadn't been with them in spring training yet. So I come to this team and they're like, hey, we're gonna hook you up with a host family, and that host family is gonna have 3 other ball players. And man, it just so happened that all 3 of the other ball players, man, Nick, Colin, Blake, all Bible believing Christians that, every night they would kind of meet up in the basement and they talk about God and they talk about Christ and they talk about eternal life. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, what's going on, man? Like, what does that even mean? And next thing you know, my spirit is longing for that conversation. It's longing for, just an answer or a brief glimpse at that. And next thing you know, just me being curious, like I dive in, man. I'm like, what do you guys got? What is it? And just seeing that all come and it wasn't but 2 weeks after kind of that first question that I had, it was, I was giving my life to Christ at that moment, man. And not to say it was a direct correlation to baseball success, but it was an ability of mine to go, baseball is just a game. It's just a gift that I've been blessed with. And now I'm going to do everything in my power to be the best baseball player, but at the same time, that is not where my identity lies. My identity lies in Jesus Christ. And it was like just a 180 turn from, it wasn't anything that people saw, like I wasn't working less hard, right? It wasn't that I was like, I'll skip weights today because I got Jesus and I got eternal life. It was like, no, I'm going to bust my butt for Jesus, and I'm going to glorify him on the field, off the field, and really magnify his name through the gift and through the blessing that he continues to give me. And I think right away, like I just saw, I just had more of a relaxed, more of a confidence about me. And it wasn't for me, man, because, it's nothing that I can do, on the field. But it just kind of, my career at that moment took off. I jumped 3 levels that year, signed a pretty good free agent contract. I got invited to the Arizona Fall League. I, got a big league camp 2 years after that. And just like kind of everything was starting to come into pieces, and it was, man, sorry, gosh darn it. But yeah, that fires me up. So thank you for that, asking that question and allowing me to talk about that.
Yeah, no, sure. And I think you're completely right. Without Jesus, there is, like, especially through failure, how are you supposed to learn? Where is there to turn after failure? And he's a rock that you can lean on where you've tried your best and there's nothing else because you didn't receive what you're hoping to get.
Amen.
But you hope that in the future that he'll provide, and if you keep believing and keep working hard, using the gifts you're given, he will.
Amen.
And it seems like he definitely has for you.
Amen. Yeah, man, it's a rock. It's a steady rock that doesn't waver. And I play a game constantly built on failure, man. So it's a roller coaster. So to answer your question, finally, in baseball terms, Christ has done more than you can imagine for just my overall well-being, leaving my identity that was once hey, Robby, you're the baseball player, and now it's built on something a lot more sturdy, the sturdiest thing you can actually have something built on. So imagine that.
Yeah. Andrew, you got anything to ask him now? It's hard to follow up that. That was a pretty in-depth thing.
I was hoping you weren't gonna ask me for another question.
Well, hey, that's what I was. You know what? I didn't even think
of. I was my mouth shut. I was slowly walking away from my desk.
Oh, dude, what I didn't even think of when we agreed to do this. Obviously 3 people. I can't see your lips like go to move, so I don't know when you're talking. What I didn't even think about was like what happens when no one talks. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I was constantly thinking about like, okay, what happens? Like, okay, all 3 of us try to talk. Now what if it's like just silence? I love it.
Yeah, AJ, I need another question. I need a question buffer before I go again. Please.
Question buffer.
A question buffer.
Well, I mean,
dude, let me ask you guys something. Let me get the floor.
yeah, go ahead.
Dude,
yeah, Robby,
so,
go ahead, because I don't want to be peppering you.
No, that's totally fine. I mean, dude, you guys should know by now I love to talk about myself, right? No, but so all you guys told me was before the show, like you guys love baseball. Where does your...
we love all sports, honestly.
Okay, that's fine. But so I was going to say, like, where does your passion for baseball stem from? Like, what does that upbringing look like? Like, where'd you play? What's y'all's journey? I mean, obviously one at a time.
AJ, you go first. You go first.
All right. So mine kind of started, I don't know, obviously like everybody else, like you're playing in the backyard with like your dad, and in my case also my mom. My mom would be out in the driveway having a catch with me and stuff.
Having a catch. I love it.
Yeah, no, you should see. Like my mom's the best. She would throw me batting practice when we got older. She'd get down with the catcher's gear on and catch my bullpens and stuff. Like crazy stuff.
Catch your bullpens, age?
Yes, she would. I mean, it was not when I was older, but she would catch them when I was like 10 years old.
Still, that's incredible.
Freaking epic, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you learn something new, right? The podcast brings out the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then playing baseball all my life, going through played in high school, was playing well, got recruited to play in college. We won't say what the college is. Currently had a bit of a setback my freshman year. I'm a sophomore now, and I'm sort of like not sort of like your baseball journey, but kind of with the failure and stuff. And now I'm working my way back to getting on the team again and playing again. So it's encouraging to hear your story about battling back from adversity, because I had some adversity baseball wise, but that's pretty much mine. So currently playing ball now. Just finished up from a little training session, got a little drive line going.
Get it in, you kid.
Yeah, and so now I'm essentially like I'm the lower version of you. I'm the you're out there playing ball at a high level. I'm playing at a low level. We're both podcasting together, and so that's kind of my thing. It's like
you're better
to play baseball, but then also,
Robby Rowland Jr.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Is that the soundbite for the episode? I love it.
Yeah, so pretty much just, playing ball, and then it's like, I'd come home from practice or whatever, and I'd be like, Andrew would call me up and be like, go and do a podcast, and I'd be like sitting there eating dinner, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like I'll just eat dinner and do the podcast while I'm doing it. Like, try to make it like mute myself while I'm chewing so they don't hear me while Andrew's talking, but it was pretty much just being able to talk baseball and just the game I love, and kind of talk about how it impacted me, and how just seeing it play on the MLB and at the lower levels. And I've learned a lot from it that I've been able to use in my own athletic journey as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Love it. Well, that's one thing I love about like the podcasting realm of things, man, is like I always say on my show, man, like I'm almost selfish to a T, to where, I bring on a guest that almost I just want to talk to and be like, hey, what's your what tools are you implementing in your routine? Because, you got life figured out, man. Like I'm sitting here with a notepad writing it down, pretending it's for my audience when I'm like gaining all these benefits from it. So that's another thing I love about it.
Yeah. Andrew, you want to give your side now that I gave mine?
Yeah, right. So I actually have a crazy story with sports. I'm not getting into it like super, super in depth, but in my baseball I will. I'm pretty much just that one guy who, if he's not, I guess, at the gym or like at home, like homework, because we're college kids, they're doing the podcast, they're working, you can find me on some kind of sport field, football field, baseball field, soccer field, a basketball court, and I love to compete. That's the one thing about me. I don't really consider myself any sort of player, or I consider myself an athlete, but mostly just a competitor. I love to compete. That is one of my favorite things in the world. No matter what sport it is, I want to go out and I want to play, and I want to be the best. That's just how I am.
Yeah.
So let me take you back to baseball, which is one of the first sports I ever played. And baseball, it brought like a different competitiveness to me, because it wasn't it's not like how in, like soccer, like football, it's like directly one-on-one unless it's like a pitcher batter, unless you're batting.
Sure.
That was the thing that I loved about it. And I love to play the outfield. So baseball was saying it was kind of different for me, but I was still able to really implement my competitive nature into the game, sort of like a different way than I was used to. And so pretty much I just kept playing. I mean, AJ and I, we'd play every Sunday together. And, we just grew up with the game, and especially our grandpa and our dads love the game. And my Little League team, we were like 3 wins away from going to the Little League World Series from being on TV.
No way.
Yeah, we were super close. We were in Newsday. I'm sure you don't know what that is because it's a New York newspaper, but we were in a bunch of papers and stuff like that. We were super close for the Little League World Series, so that was an awesome experience. And so I had a really good town. Like the kids who were on the team, they all were sensational kids. They're all out playing. I think most of them, like 8 of the 12, are playing like college ball now. So
wow.
They're awesome players. And for me, I was on like the B team for my town because the kids were so good. And I got called up to play, and I was so excited, and it was one hell of a run. And so I think baseball just always has that special place in me because it was just that summer, really, that 12-year-old summer, even though I've been playing my whole life, that was just one of the best experiences I've ever been a part of.
Dude, that's so cool, man. I can't even imagine that Little League experience, dude. Like, yeah. I mean, just being at that age, and I mean, that's the age where you're kind of like oblivious to everything, right? Like you're just like, yeah, Little League World Series, I guess that's cool, right? Like, you don't really know the magnitude of it, or maybe do you? I don't know.
No, I mean, the thing is, I definitely think I would have been a lot more emotional if it happened at my age now when we lost.
Yeah.
When we lost, I was upset because I knew I wouldn't really be playing with these guys anymore, and they're all like my best friends. And like we were all sad, like we were all crying when we lost. And we were 12-year-old kids, but I feel like if it happened now, I'd definitely be smashing some holes in walls.
Hopefully it was not your fist. Yeah. That's crazy, man. I remember when I was I think what was it? So when I was 14, we had a league called like Babe Ruth, and it was like a junior league, if you will. It was like kind of the first, the introduction to the big mound and the big bases and whatnot. And our all-star team, we went pretty far, and I that's one of those things I don't think it's not aired on TV, but we got local, we got press done, like we were. I think there was a time where we were going to be like on Good Morning America or something like that, where maybe not Good Morning America, but maybe Good Morning like Sacramento, which is like the capital of California, and it was
just as good.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so yeah, man, it was it was crazy, but
that youth baseball is just some of the best at times.
But what I was saying is like at that age, man, it was we were in it, and it was kind of just I guess. But then looking back at it, dude, you're like, holy crap, like that's a big deal. Like that's pretty crazy, dude. So I think as we get older, we start recognizing certain situations and the reality a little bit more, and kind of try to at least hold on to. I mean, you guys are 19, dude, so you guys are going to have plenty more of those moments. But I can only encourage you to cherish those moments, man, because any moment like that, it doesn't happen every day.
Yeah. Definitely very lucky to have all of us, the success that we've had and the stories, and just continue doing what we love.
No doubt.
It's for granted, 100%.
No double.
All right, Robby, I got another little rabbit hole for you.
Let's do it.
So, you do you remember? Not remember, but you have that Mass Eagles gas shirt, right?
I do.
So, little fun fact trivia: I'm one of the guys behind that company. So, I was actually the one who sent that to you.
Bro, dude, okay, so, all right, there's a lot of things that I want to say right now. One, the shirt, the shirt is right, like, I'm looking at the shirt right now. Two,
actually?
Yeah, dude, I turn it into a cut sleeve, and I look absolutely yimmy-yacked in it, so I wear it often, and dude, two, I get so many questions about that, man, and in no disrespect whatsoever, I just completely forgot, like, who sent me that, because I usually do a really good job when people send me stuff. Like I remember their Instagram tag, so anytime I wear it, I could tag them and get some traffic. And for some reason, man, I want to. I know I'm on air and everyone's like, this guy's a loser, but I want to apologize, dude, for forgetting that you were a part of sending me that. But this is great, because now that everyone asks me like, hey, where'd you get that? I can direct them to you. So, hey, thank you for sending me that, and I still absolutely love it.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you like it, but it's actually maybe worked out for the better, just because like my friends and I who made it, like we're college guys, so, and like we're playing ball, so we really we're not allowed to make any money off the stuff. I think from the NCAA rules or something. So we just kind of been passing it around, like out to our friends and stuff. And like you were one of the guys. We've been sending it to random people to just try to build the brand up, and then eventually maybe after college we could start slinging some merch, which would be sweet. But we I appreciate it. Like if you still want to direct the people, like we'll be happy to talk to them and let them know kind of the deal.
Well, yeah, I totally do that, man. I can even take it a step further and be like, yo, the guy that did this, like he's got a dope podcast. Like here's his link.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah,
that's for all of us.
I got you.
Yeah,
dude.
So when I saw that shirt and you had made it into a cut off your Instagram, I'm like, no way. I'm like, he actually got it. It was kind of just like sending out a glass bottle with like a little note in it out into the ocean, hoping it would get there.
Dude, you know what's funny, man, is like, in all sincerity, I do feel really bad. I take a lot of pride in like my ability to
don't feel bad.
No, like, because that's messed up, man. I mean, like, you went out of your way and you sent me a shirt. It's a dope shirt, like, and I totally forgot like the tag. So I remember when
Robby, you're taking this way too seriously. It started off as a joke with my friends, and we're like, who can we send this shirt to that we made for like $5 a shirt? And we're like, oh, we'll send it to Robby Row. Like, we'll just send it out to him. Like, it's not literally. I do not feel any like I actually feel badly that you feel badly. Like, don't think about it in any way possible. Like, it made our day to see you even wearing it. Like, that was the biggest thing.
Dude, that's great, man. Well, I appreciate those words.
We got champagne bottles and we went nuts.
Well, it was an excuse to pop bottles. So no, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate you guys. No, I honestly, like, it's right here. I'm probably, what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wear it tomorrow during my workout,
go.
And I'm gonna tag the your guys' account. Do you guys have personal accounts too, or is it just the Yardwork?
Yeah,
like pretty much just the Yardwork. Like, I have a personal account, but I don't know. Like not to be mean like to you, but I'd rather keep it it confidential.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
You can throw my personal out there.
Nah, dude. I mean, it's all good. I get it.
Yeah, I'm not playing college ball, so you can throw my personal out there. You want to get t-shirts for it? Do it. Pass it out.
Dude, I mean, like, I just started an Instagram account for my podcast, and it's, dude. I know how much freaking work goes into it, man. So I know it's a random thought again, but I commend you guys for putting in the work, especially college students, dude.
I didn't know you had an Instagram for your podcast account.
I mean, no one does, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah, no one does. I think it's got like, I don't know, like 600 followers. Like, it's not doing well, but yeah, keep on keeping on.
That's how it is.
I love it. So what?
All right, no, you go.
Yeah, no. I wanted to kind of know what was in the cards for the future of the Yardwork, man. Like, where do you see this podcast kind of taking you guys? Obviously, all of our aspirations when we do a podcast is, to reach as many people as possible and to have as many awesome guests, on the show and have as much valuable information out there. So do you guys have any aspirations as far as season 2 of the Yardwork?
I have, this to me it means like everything to me this past year, honestly. Just, mostly the fact that like I get to talk to my cousin every day, and like we're away from each other at school after seeing each other every weekend. Yeah. So like this means like a lot more than podcasting to me. First off, and then secondly is I think it's paved the way for a much happier future for me, because I was at school, with my major was to be a social studies teacher, and I really don't want to be a teacher. That's really, like, it would be like my personality, I guess, to kind of be a teacher, but not that there's anything wrong with being a teacher. I think teachers are, the heroes. They're shaping the future. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like I want to do something that I'm more passionate about. Something that I'm so happy about. And like, I'm moving around. So a big thing now is I'm taking classes to be like a sports reporter, a sports writer. So I'm at the games. I'm moving around. I'm meeting the players. And I was actually thinking about it today in one of my office internship jobs that I'm just doing, because one of my aunts gave me a job, and it pays pretty good, even though it's terrible.
Right.
Is that I think that, I haven't even mentioned this to AJ yet, was I think in the future, if we keep doing this, like AJ and I, we always say, like, when you say, like, yeah, like 3 or 4 years, who knows what will happen down the road. If we're still doing this and we're still doing well, and, we're at the point where, no one's playing any college athletics and we can start making money and maybe sell some merch, who knows, maybe in like 10 years we have like our own warehouse. And, we got some turf inside. We're giving people lessons. We have some offices. We're having, for podcasting, and it would just be the dream. We just go around the country, going to baseball games, interviewing players and stuff like that. So this has definitely been an eye opener for me, that I think I have to keep doing something like this.
Totally. I love it, dude.
Have to keep this up. Can't quit now.
I mean, you guys are deep into it, man.
Yeah, and I love it. It goes beyond podcasting for me.
Absolutely. Oh, it's always bigger than that, right?
Always. Everything. Sports is my favorite thing ever, but it's always deeper than sports. It is. Sports brings out the deeper side of a person. That's what I believe. Absolutely.
And it's funny, dude. I had this conversation. Gosh, who did I have this conversation? Anyways, it doesn't matter. But we were having a conversation about the stepping stone that sports provides into real life. And at least for me, like, I can attest, my journey and all of the things that I've learned and all of the things that I've been through, making me a stronger, like, human being. So, when I do get thrown out into the real world, like, I'm well equipped, man. And that's all due to what baseball, what sports in general has taught me, man. You think about it, if you really just kind of keep it in that simple mindset, as if you play sports, you're a competitor. You compete daily, and when you are a competitor, you don't lose that that gift of I mean, you said it earlier, like, loving to compete. So now what you do is you take that into the real world, man, and whatever task that you're faced with, or whatever trial that you're faced with in real life, like, you still have that inner competitor inside of you, that says, like, let's go, man, like, let's freaking tackle this head on.
I have zero work ethic if it wasn't for sports. If it wasn't for me, I believe you had a tweet the other day. It said something like, other kids in high school are, they're getting up early and they're working out. It doesn't make you want to go do it. That is so true. My whole life, it was always, I got to work harder than the next guy. When you look at your team, and all your buddies and stuff, but you want to be the hardest working one. And then even for me, it goes deeper. It goes, like, with myself. I'm competitive with myself. My brain can tell me I can do more, and I got to keep that competitiveness up with myself too.
Absolutely.
And I would never have that if it wasn't for sports.
Yeah, it's that guy in the mirror that you're facing, dude. I mean, that's why I try to tell everyone, man, like, it's all great and dandy to talk about, the one-on-one battle. I mean, obviously, me being a pitcher, it's, the one-on-one competition between me and the dude at the dish, and I'm trying to beat him, simple as that. But in reality, dude, it's like all that stuff that comes before that, and me taking a long look in the mirror and saying, like, hey, that guy staring back at you, like, can we say that we've done everything in our power to prepare ourselves the best that we know how for this specific goal or this task at hand? And I mean, that's the beauty of the game, right? I mean, there's so many games within the games, and those inner battles and all that stuff.
AJ, I know we got on like a crazy tangent, but I need to hear, man. Of course, your future with this, because I know we're in this together, and you like my idea of the warehouse? We'll stand for that.
Yeah, well, honestly, that's the first time I've heard that idea. I told me about it before. You gotta show it to the world before me.
I was thinking today, I was like, you know what, if we're going to keep doing this, it's like, why aim just small? Why just aim to just be like a sports writer? Let's aim big. Let's strive to be elite. And I think sometimes people in this generation, they're okay with being mediocre, and I don't think that's us.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, to answer your question, Robbie, the biggest reason why, like, kind of I got into it and then our aspirations, like, my whole thing has just been like, hey, Andrew wants to shoot for the moon, I'll be a rocket to help him get there, you know? So, like, essentially coming on the podcast and making it work together, like, it's a sweet thing to get going. And Andrew's, he's obviously got these huge aspirations going, and, like, there was, in my opinion, there was, growing up, like, I didn't really want to be a sports writer or something. It was just like, I like sports, but there was other stuff I wanted to do. But then kind of coming on this podcast, like, hey, maybe this is something I want to do. Like, I enjoy talking to guys, interviewing guys, just talking about sports, and just, like you said before, just essentially talking, like, just putting it out into the airspace. So, yeah, Andrew's kind of giving me, like, he's giving me a little jump start. Now we're just kind of working together to the moon, and, I mean, wherever he wants to go, that's where we're going to go.
You said that perfectly.
I thought we were going to see the Beatles break up right there, man, after you withhold information.
Yeah.
And Robbie, I got to tell you something, man, because whenever people ask me about podcasting and this and that, and, like you said, you don't always have to look at, like, your reviews and your comments and your stats and people who are listening. And whenever I tell people, because they'll bring up stuff like that, I just say the best part of it, aside from, me and AJ getting to talk every day, is just the people that I've met and got to talk to.
Let's go, dude. Preach it, man.
It doesn't get better than this, because I would never thought a year ago I would have, 10 Major League ball players contacts in my phone. I got some Barstool guys, and I even got Adam Schefter.
That's so sick.
So I would have never thought of that a year ago, and that is definitely the best part, just the connections and the people I've gotten to talk to, because there's so many people who had such an impact, and I've had such a good time having conversations with that I would have never gotten to meet.
I mean, again, dude, I know I'm sitting here saying, like, that's the reason why I do it, or this is the reason why I do that, and it's like, there's just so many, right? Like, you can't nitpick one, because at the same time, dude, I mean, I attest literally right to that as far as the ability to make connections, man, and the networking involved in that. And, I mean, I'm right there with you, dude. Like, talking to people that I would think, like, never in a million years would I actually be able to, like, hold a conversation with and want to, like, talk to. And then next thing you know, like, you're diving down rabbit holes with this guy, and you're like, frickin' A, man, this guy's genuine. And with that being said, like, it also shows, the true humanity of people that we perceive, like, on social media or even on, like, TV. We perceive them as, like, hierarchy. Like, these guys are, like, so much higher and more just everything better than us. And then they come on a show like ours, man, and it's just being a human being. And it's like, yo, we're the same guys. Like, this is what makes me tick. This is the things that I enjoy in life, and this is what I do. And I think just bringing it down to just a mano a mano, like, human level again. That's another thing that I think is super cool about getting to really dive deep into certain individuals.
Yeah, dude, I actually have these two questions for you right now. I just thought of them that I really, really am excited to ask you. So I'm a huge Yankees fan.
Sorry to hear that.
Long Island, New York. My first question is, I see that one of your followers is Tyler Wade. And
yeah, I played with him.
Yeah, so the thing, it's so crazy to me, because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think he gets enough love from the fans. But I'm one of the few people that actually really do like Tyler Wade. I'm actually, like, a big Tyler Wade guy. So some of my friends kind of make fun of me for it, and I don't want to tell you, like, some of the negative things people say about him, obviously, but
we'll leave that off.
I'm a huge Tyler Wade guy.
As you should be.
He followed. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, as you should be, though. I mean, like, the guy, and that's another guy, that's, I don't think a lot of people realize the magnitude of putting the pinstripes on, man, and like, playing for the Yankees, especially a guy like him, man, that came up in that organization. and then when you get there, like there's a lot of external factors weighing in on you, and dude, I mean, he's performed, man. Like he's done his job, and not only has he done it at a
big fan of fielders,
yeah,
you know, guys who are such good fielders, because in this day and age, all the love gets to, you know, what's your batting average, how many home runs you hit. But to me, and I could be wrong with this thought, is, you know, hitting's, you know, 50% of the game. The other 50% is how you do in the field. You know, you can't be a liability in the field. And, you know, he struggled from time to time at the dish, but I mean, who hasn't? Baseball's a game of up and downs, like you say. But I mean, he is such a solid fielder that I really like him so much just from his ability to field.
All right.
That is where I love, you know, middle infielders, center fielders. That thing for me is huge. So Tyler Wade, I'm a big fan of him. I've actually reached out to him a couple of times, hoping he'd get back to us, but he's getting there. He's a busy guy.
Yeah, that's actually a guy I'd like to have on my show too, man. Just because he's I want the audience to see, like, he's a dope human being too. You know, I mean that's another one of those guys. It's just a solid human being.
100%. Tyler Wade's a cool guy. I'm a big fan of him. And now my second question to you, now that we're diving a little bit into the Yankees, because I'm such a big Yankee fan.
Oh boy.
Are the Yankees getting Machado? What do we think?
I mean, for your sake, I hope not.
Wait, for my sake, I want Machado.
You want him?
Yeah, I want Machado.
I'll tell you what, man. You guys have done a heck of a job this offseason, man. I think you guys saw an underlying issue in your starting rotation, and you guys addressed it. And the pieces that you've brought in, like your starting five now has to be considered within the top 10 of all Major League Baseball.
That's Tanaka is a number 4 on the Yankees rotation. That's pretty unbelievable.
And Tanaka's a dude. He's still a dude, and he doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah, definitely. But you know, this is my thing with the Yankees. Is everyone wants to make us this evil empire. You know, Brian Cashman said Death Star's in full effect. He's taking on this Darth Vader kind of persona. So I say, let's roll with it. Everyone wants us to be evil because, you know, honestly, before I started doing this, because I obviously grew up with people from New York, I didn't know how much people did not like the Yankees, and especially in the 90s. So this is all like somewhat kind of – I knew that, you know, everyone was just kind of like, you know, the Yankees, evil empire. But I didn't really know the magnitude up until like this last year and going away to school and other people, other fans, you know, influencing me. So if this is what people expect from us, let's roll with it. Let's get Machado. I believe he's a dirty player, but a guy that averages like 150-something games since like 2014 and going to perform, I mean, how am I going to say no to that?
You know, you're absolutely right, man. And I'm in the business of any time that you can get a top 50 player in the game, anytime that's an option, you do it, right? There's no hesitation to that. I think you guys obviously have the ability to do that. You're one of probably 4 teams that have the ability. So do it, man. Like, I mean, if it fits, I think the only question or the only concern that maybe front office has in the Yankees organization is what Manny Machado are they going to get? You know, is it the guy that is going to run 7 to 8 seconds down the line, give you no hard 90s, or is he going to be the guy that, you know, hits 310 with 30 jacks and at Yankee Stadium maybe 30, 40, 45, who knows, and plays a good third base.
It doesn't like I'm you know, I believe, you know, in hard working, stuff like that, but Machado is just one of the one guys that just doesn't quite bother me because, like I said, if he's going to give you 159 games played and close to 40 home runs a year, and like a ground ball to shorter second, it's like...
Yeah, but I look at that in a different... I look at that in a different lens as you do. The lens that I look at it from is a clubhouse chemistry lens. As an athlete, he's as a baseball player that, like, obviously pays a lot of attention to the chemistry and how things are in the clubhouse. You never, you know, as much as everyone says that they like a particular guy or not, it's always let's put it this way: it's harder to pull and root for the guy that isn't giving his 110% effort. So you don't know what that's going to do to your clubhouse. You don't know the effect that's going to have. I think the Yankees already. I think you guys are in a really good position, and I think the moves that you've made in the last 3 years, you guys are on the up and up. So when you add a name like Machado to your clubhouse, it's more than likely going to drastically change all aspects of team chemistry. Now the question is, do you want to do that? Do you want do you want to have that change, even though the direction that you're going is in the right direction? Obviously guys come in and out, but a guy like Machado obviously brings a little bit more attention and possibly negative attention to a clubhouse.
I mean, I have two things with that. First off is, you're right. We don't know which Machado we're gonna get, because it's not like the Orioles were really good with or without him. I mean, I know they had like one playoff stint in like 2014, but the Orioles had been pretty bad. They've been a lower team the last couple of years, and I don't see them being good for another couple of years. So with that aspect, I can kind of understand. But the thing is also with Machado is I've just heard such good things with him in the locker room that players don't seem to have a problem with him.
True.
So I don't know if it's going to be a problem with like Machado and the players, but maybe negative attention from the media and the press, and I think that's what people kind of forget about.
Yep.
Because you get people that they either really like this move. Everyone either really wants Machado or really doesn't want Machado, and I think people kind of have some mixed ideas, and some people aren't as knowledgeable about it. But I think something that goes kind of forgotten that you got to think about is you're going to have reporters probably saying some negative stuff to him in the locker room, and you might not want to be around that. So I think that's something that really has to be taken into question. But I'm still going to stick with myself, especially after the conversation we had with Barstool Hubs, I think episode 101. I think if the Yankees do go ahead with it, I'm going to be excited, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be if you're a fan. You have to be.
Right.
And look, man, at the end of the day, like we can speculate and we can predict all we want, but we just don't know until it happens. Until he gets put in that locker room, man, until he puts those pinstripes on, like we don't know.
Right.
So let's sit back and enjoy the process.
I get my friends come up to me and they're asking me questions, and I'm like, I don't know. Sports are unpredictable. I don't know. I can't tell you what tomorrow brings. I don't know. I can just tell you some of the facts of what I do know, and I can give you my best hypotheses on it. But I do also like to make it a point to get other people's opinions in there, because I'm not right. I just have an idea, and I think I have a pretty educated idea with it. And that's just kind of how I am.
Yeah. Let them know, man. If you got your opinion, let them know. It's 2018, man. Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone's got a voice. Here we go.
Yeah, everyone's going to get offended, so just speak your mind. Just
Might as well, man. Be honest. Be upfront. Be blunt. Let's go.
There's going to be someone in Baltimore right now, like, listening in their basement, like, oh, the Machado should be ours or something like that, and getting all mad listening. But, I mean, it's whatever.
I hear you, man. I trust me. I'm on board. I'm on board for everything you said, and I don't agree with you one bit. So I'm glad that we just had a 20-minute New York Yankees conversation, and I did not hang up the phone.
man, Yankee, we get so much hate out here, man.
I'm just playing with y'all, dude. I enjoy good baseball, man. I grew up partly. I would say I grew up partly like an A's fan. I think that small market idea. One of my dad's really good buddies was Scott Hatterberg, and we grew up, going to a lot of A's games. And then if you're going to a lot of the games and you're in person, you develop kind of a relationship with the team, and you just see kind of what they go through year in and year out with that small market. And so, it's not so much that like I hate the Yankees. It's just like, man, it would be nice to have a huge market and pretty much, buy very, very good players. I just respect those teams that just grind and they do an unreal job in the scouting department, and they get guys, that come up and produce not big name guys. I don't know. I mean, it's that old cliche, like everyone roots for the underdog, and I think that's where the Yankees have fallen into, is they're always kind of the favorite, and they have been for better parts of a century, so.
Dude, another thing about the A's, I'm a huge fan of Dallas Braden.
He's the best, dude. He's like my spirit animal as far as what I want to do after I'm done playing.
Dallas Braden, his Instagram account has me in tears when he has. You follow him on Instagram?
I probably do. Honestly, I gotta check it out. He has phone it's like under his hot tub, and then he like comes up from the hot tub and he's still recording, and like his face is all messy, and he like looks at the screen. He's like, "Good morning." The 209 mayor.
Yeah. It is.
He says Instagram because the animals should be able to snap a pic of the tourist once in a while.
Dude, he's funny.
Oh man.
I have his autograph. I'm looking at it right now. Dallas Braden is the man. Like you said, Dallas Braden is someone who I would love to emulate as well. I know he does the podcast, The Starting Nine, with Barstool. I'm not super familiar with that.
I'm not either.
But I do love him. I know he's a commentator now for the A's, and I just think he's such an awesome dude from Instagram and from playing. He threw that perfect game. So I think the A's are cool. I like Dallas Braden a lot. He's definitely the man.
Dude, I mean, you have to, right? Like, you have to love guys like that, dude. Just because he's so real and he's genuine, he's like authentic. Like that's him. Like he's got a freaking loud personality, dude, and he lets it eat.
Dude, I love it because I think that's also who fans kind of want to see. They want to see their human side. They want to know they're just like us. And I think all of us, us podcasters, that we're very outspoken. We're in the public, and I think we have a lot of similarities with Dallas Braden. Like I said, you gotta love the guy. The guy's just a beast.
I'm with you, dude. He's got a plus beard too.
Yeah, he does. I know you got a beard, right?
Yeah, I'm saving money on razors and clippers this year for the whole year.
I got a nice chin strap going. I mean, I'm like 19, can barely grow a beard. I got a little bit of peach fuzz coming, and it's coming together.
I appreciate the hustle, man. That's all I could say for that.
It's coming together. I mean, I got. Like my mom and my girlfriend, they're like, you really got to shave that off your face. It looks disgusting. And I'm like, no.
Stay strong, brother.
It's going to be so full and long one day. It's going to be like a James Harden beard. And I can't wait to prove everyone wrong with it.
Yeah. I love it, dude.
Yo, Robbie, I got one last question for you because I know we're getting kind of long here with the podcast. So one last question.
I got you.
I got time.
How much you bench?
How much you weigh? Oh, I had to. Oh man,
good answer.
Yeah. Benching. I will be 132% honest with you and tell you that benching is not one of your boy's strong suits. I got like these long arms. I got a sunken in chest you can eat a bowl of cereal off of. Like obviously a pitcher. I mean, if you want to talk about, hey, what's your barbell front squat, or what's your barbell front rack hold reverse lunge numbers, then we can get into a little conversation there. But to throw me under the bus and say, hey, I noticed you got a small chest, and tell me I getting bench or not? No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate it, but I'm not a bench press guy, man, but to throw that question back at you, like what are you guys putting up? Like obviously probably more than me.
Yeah, so the best answer to that question is you say yeah, I bench more often than you, and then
but I don't. So, but then I'd be a liar and I'd lose followers.
Yeah, I know. It's something we ask all our guests because I'm a pitcher too, so I put up like, I don't know, I'm like SpongeBob pushing up like no weight. So it's just like, it's something as a joke that I ask all the guys. And we seem to always have pitchers on. They're like, yeah, like I'll do barbell, like dumbbell bench sometimes, but I really don't bench. And it's like, wow, you ruined my question.
Took it super seriously.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, hey man, like fair question, fair answer all around. I think, obviously, I think pitchers, if you want to dive down a little quick rabbit hole, I think pitchers in today's day and age are 132, again, I don't know why I use that random number, times more like athletic and built than they were, like 20, 30 years ago, man. I mean, I'm not trying to like toot our our own horn here, but I mean, look at these guys coming out of the pen these days. Freaking tree trunk, 6'6", 250, throwing 117 miles an hour. And, I mean, it's no accident. They put some freaking absolute work in when it comes to, the weight room.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to see some of those guys.
132%, man.
Dude, I don't know. Where did that number come from? Like, what am
I thought you were going to say he throws 132 miles an hour, too, and then you would have been all
I had to switch it up. I mean, if I used that 3 times, dude, I might as well freaking hide in the corner for the rest of the day. Yeah.
You're going number 130.
I mean,
first under the triple.
I wonder if that's legal. Is that legal? I don't even know if you can do that.
I have no idea. What happened to, like, the Yankees? Like, all the single digits are taken, all the numbers are taken. Well, you got to wear like 100, 101.
Yeah. That's like a showcase number. That's what like happened? They put on the back. You get number like 257 of the showcase.
Yeah, well, at the showcase, you literally are just you're just a number. You're not a name at a showcase, man.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Robbie, I got. This is kind of a crazy question I got for you.
I got a crazy answer for you, man.
It was crazy. So. Actually, a couple episodes ago, we had Alex Katz. He's in the White Sox organization on the show.
Gotcha.
And he actually is from, like, he lives, like 15, 20 minutes from me.
Okay.
And we joke how he's gonna come down, he's going to play with us, and if he also does the KD custom kicks, he makes custom cleats for around the league. So he was saying if he strikes us out, we're batting. If he strikes us out, we got to pay for cleats, and if we get a hit off him, he's going to pay for us. So I guess my question is, Robbie, when you coming down to New York, when we putting some bet on the line?
Do you want to hear something so coincidental and funny, I guess, to say?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I just booked a New York trip January 7th. Under pretty awful circumstances. I'm getting a second opinion. I tore my lat at the end of the season last year, and I'm going to get a second opinion on it. But it's funny. I literally got off the phone and booked a ticket to New York January 7th. I don't know how long I'd be there, but I know it's New York.
Where could it be? Like the city?
I'm assuming I'll fly into JFK and then go to the doctor place or whatever. I don't know.
We get a little game going.
Yeah, we got a game. When he has a torn lat, we're gonna get a game going.
Hey, I can play left-handed ping pong, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a ping pong table. We can make this thing happen, man.
Enough said. I'm ambidextrous, so freaking hey, bring it on, man.
Fun.
Oh yeah, dude. I don't know. I hear bad things about New York. I'm a small town kid. I do enjoy. Yeah, I enjoy my space. My freedom. If you were to say,
I'm about 20 minutes from the city, 30 minutes from the city. I will tell you that I'm on the South Shore of Long Island, so I'm right by the water.
Okay.
And a town that's literally where you go to the beaches, which is 10-minute drive. It's kind of windy turns, but it's my girlfriend lives on the water. We're the same town, but the place you go to the beaches, whatever. And we get a lot of tourists there, and they always say it's like California. So
interesting.
I know you're from California, so
yeah.
You might like Long Island.
Yeah. Hey, who knows, right? I mean, who knows until you try.
Who knows, man? You want to play some ambidextrous ping pong, man? We got
it. We got you, dog. I love it.
The crazy we got for you.
I love it, dude. Dude, I hate. I told you I wasn't going to do this to you, but I hate to do this to you. It's almost getting dark here, and I still have yet to do my bike ride. I have to bail on you guys.
No, Robbie, that is completely fine. I was literally about to say thank you for having on the show and being a great guy for staying on for as long as you did. We really, really appreciate it.
Dude, no, I mean, shoot, man. This is my show too, right? So, hey, thank you guys for coming on the Robby Row Show. I appreciate you guys' time. It's actually been such a pleasure, dude. I appreciate you guys, and it's been a blast just sitting here, just talking to you guys.
And Robbie, thanks so much for coming on. Thank you for coming on our show again. Like we said, this is definitely one of the most fun we've had podcasting. It's definitely our longest episode, and this was great, man. I'd love to do it again.
Yeah, your listeners are going to be like, Wait, is that a typo? That says an hour and 20 minutes? Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. But like I said, I mean, when I first reached out, man, I was like, hey, like, you guys are doing great things, man. So, I mean, anytime that we can collaborate on something, dude, and just give the people what they want, man, you know, good information, you know, and good content. So definitely we'll keep the line of communication open moving forward between us.
Any time of the day, man. I know we're different time zones, and we got some stuff to say. I'm always around. I'm always down to talk about some sports, especially baseball.
Love to hear that. You opened up a can of worms with that, though.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Robby, and thank you, AJ. I'm going to let you get your sign off.
Oh, well, yeah, my sign off, Robby, you don't know. I just say go Yard at the end of every episode to the friends out there.
What if you're a pitcher?
Oh, shoot.
Now we got to change it. 106 episodes in, and now you're telling them?
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Throw gas. Throw gas.
I don't know. Yeah, throw gas. Go Yard, throw gas.
Time to officially sign off from the Yardwork. I'm your host, Andrew Fernandez, and thanks for tuning in.
All right, guys, that's another episode of the Robby Row Show. Do me a favor, if you liked the episode, or even if you didn't like it, go ahead and leave me a review on whatever platform you're listening to. Not only does it help me out with popularity on my show, but it also helps me out as a host of this podcast. Sometimes I don't know if I'm getting better, if I'm getting worse, and I need y'all's opinions. So go ahead and leave a review and let me know what you thought. So again, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Until next time, Robby Rowland, the Robby Row Show. Your boy's out. Later.